Hi everyone and welcome to Franka's Fab Family. I am Franka and you're in Franka's kitchen. Today I have a very special treat for you. I am cooking a very traditional seafood dish that I think everyone in the Caribbean cooks. It's called fish and fungi in the British Virgin Islands, as well as Cou Cou and okra with fish in Trinidad or in Grenada. And the Cou Cou or the fungi is known as polenta. You know, every time I hear like Bobby Flay or Giada on Food Network say polenta, I'm always like, that is called Cou Cou or that is fungi from where I'm from. So today you are having Cou Cou and fish or fungi and fish. And it's a yummy dish that we make all the time. And I went to the fish market today and they had some very wonderful, beautiful catch today. Some pampano, some golden pampano fish. It has become one of my favorite fish since I've come to America. As well as we have a flan dessert. I didn't make it, but one day I am gonna make it. Today is the first day that the children are gonna taste flan, and it's a wonderful dessert. So let's get started. For my seafood dish today, you are going to need at least 2 fish. I have today 2 golden pampano fish. This looks like a lot of ingredients, but I want you to know, and please don't be overwhelmed. Like I always keep saying, Caribbean meals are packed with flavor. This is a half a cup of my green gold. Even though you see it is really yellow this time because I put a little bit of turmeric, but we also had a lot of yellow and red peppers. So it has a higher yellow color compared to the normal green color. But like I said, every month I do my green gold differently. I use what I didn't use the month before, so my children and I, we will always get a round range of vitamins and nutrients. You'll need about 2 cups of flour. We'll season the flour later on. Because this dish normally has a lot of onions and peppers and everything still in the sauce that you will see later on, we will need a half of a red onion, 1 yellow white onion, a small bushel of cilantro. I have 2.5 limes here. We may not use it all because sometimes the limes are stronger than others. So we will see from there. Then I have a half a yellow pepper, bell pepper, a half a green, and then I have a banana pepper. I have 2 tomatoes, a handful of garlic. I'm gonna make a pesto in the pesto and mortar, and then I have some olives. We have a teaspoon of adobo, a teaspoon of ground red chili flakes, teaspoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, some Himalayan salt. I have 1 pack of frozen okra. This is just for the fish meal. The fish is going to be done in several stages, right? I had at the fish market, the gentleman cut it up, but I still like to score the fish. What that does, it allows all the yummy seasoning to go in between. And yes, we keep our head on. This head, the eye might look cloudy now, and it's only because when I was cleaning the fish, we clean our fish in lime and vinegar, apple cider vinegar. So, and then we wash it off. So then it made the eye white, but this was very fresh fish. I was so pleased when I saw it. So we score the fish again to make sure all of the seasoning goes through it. So that way, every bite that you're eating is very flavorful, right? So just to make it look pretty, just make 2 lines down. And we'll do it on the other side as well. If you fry this, oh my goodness, this is so good. But we are going to partially fry it and then saute it and then put it in a sauce. So all of this ingredients is for the sauce. You can actually minimize it. You could just use the green seasoning and an onion because the green seasoning has everything in it. But you will see why all of the fresh vegetables become part of the dish as well. So after I do that, right, I'm going to season up the fish, and you could do this ahead of time. You're gonna take one, you're gonna put inside the cavity. I like getting my hands in the fish. I know some people don't. You just make sure that your hands are clean. You know, that's one of the big things with us in the islands. We clean everything. We clean our hands, we clean our meats. That's not very odd. And like I said, we leave the head on. Like some people actually like the head more than the tail. I'm one of them actually. Don't knock it until you try it. This green seasoning is enough for the beginning of this base of the fish. I'm not gonna add anything else to it. And then we're gonna put this aside. I'm gonna wash my hands. I wanna thank all of you so much for watching and for continuing to return to our channel. I mean, I'm really enjoying it and I hope you're enjoying it as well. So we can put the fish aside. This actually you can put aside for the day, the overnight, and just put it in the refrigerator. But we are gonna cook it tonight because I just got it. Now we're gonna season up the flour. I'm not gonna put too much seasoning because the sauce you're gonna see later on is really packed. So I'm gonna put some pink Himalayan salt and some black pepper. You can add a little bit of curry here if you wanted as well, right? Wash my hands again. We're just gonna stir that. What I love about your comments is that some people are like, that is not enough. We don't do it like that. The beauty about this is that cooking, you do it to your palate, to your desire. And there's no right or wrong way, especially with a hot, healthy meal when you're cooking for your family. And now I am going to dice up the rest of the vegetables. This type of fish, I like the vegetables to be slightly large, but in rings or slices. So they will be thin. I'm also going to use some of these vegetables for the Cou Cou. You'll see later on, this one is really yummy. So we're gonna put that aside. I'm gonna put half aside for the polenta. And this is for the seasoning. This is for the sauce. Then same thing. I'm gonna cut these in half. I like to dice them up almost the same size. This one is a little big. I'm gonna split it. Turn it around. If you can tell, my cooking, I love the more colors, the better. I think every single color provides a different nutritional value. So the more colors you can have in your food, the better. And what will happen is that over time, you will begin to learn what the flavor of each one is and how they complement each other the more you cook. Back. Looks like a lot, but it's not. So this is all the prep work that I will do while the fish marinate. Then we'll put all of this back. Again, I'm going to use some for the polenta, or the Cou Cou, or the Fungi, or whatever you call it. If you have another name for it in your country, feel free to drop a line and I will learn something new. But those are the names I know it by: polenta, Fungi, or Cou Cou. This one can cut off a little bit. And then we have some cilantro. I love cilantro. We have the lime. Take that out. Put that in there. Those. For the polenta, I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna show you what I will do with those later. And here we do the same thing with the white onion. Each color provides a different nutritional value. So again, if you can at least get 4 or 5 or 6 different color items when you're cooking, your children are guaranteed, your family actually is guaranteed to have a really nutritional meal. I really cook with a lot of vegetables and stuff. It helps build the immune system. Onion fights cold, congestion. Like, I cannot say it enough. My children and I rarely get sick. Right, and I'm gonna put this in the Fungi, Cou Cou, or polenta, whichever one you want to call it. Right, then we have some tomatoes. I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do with the garlic. Put this aside. I have a handful of garlic. I normally cook with a handful of garlic, even though my green seasoning have loads of garlic. So we're going to put this in the mortar. I'm going to add some black pepper, and I'm going to add some salt. And then I'm going to crush it. See? I learned this from my Dominican friends. When I was just starting out to cook, I had this wonderful lady in the Virgin Islands. Her name was Luz. She taught me how to cook, and this is quite a regular Dominican cooking. I am just a melting pot. I would have any culture that I go to, anytime I travel, I like to eat at the local shops and just see how they make things, and I definitely love to visit a local family. So here we have crushed garlic with salt and black pepper. But in doing this, it brings out a different flavor of the garlic. It still tastes like garlic, but it's amazing. It's like you release all the oils out of the garlic by crushing it, all the liquid, you see? It's just amazing, right? So, and then we have the olives. So I'm gonna put this aside. This is all the prep work, right? Let me get a serrated knife for the tomato. Right. And then same thing with the tomato slices. This is definitely a healthy meal. Put this here. Put this here. Nice and sweet. Typically, children don't like olives. My children are unique. The black olives have a much milder taste than the green ones. Or maybe it might be the pickling that they put in it. So I tend to slice these in half Okay, we're all done. So here is all the prep work for our fish. Let's get cooking. One of the wonderful things about learning how to cook, it's important that you learn how to cook your way. Typically, you will start with recipes and recipe books, but you must develop the taste and the palate for what you're cooking. You must taste your food. You must understand that every single item have a different taste. Salt brings up the flavor of things. Salt is also a preservative. Sugar sweeten things. You know, vinegar makes something sour or pickles it or something like that. But you will learn these things, and I really want to encourage you, especially if you have young children. Outside food is not the best. Like, I have worked in restaurants when I was younger, and they don't change their oil. You know, sometimes the food prep is not the best. You know, if you've seen some videos of the worst things that people can do in restaurants and stuff, and it could really, really affect your health and your children's health. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like a hot, healthy meal. A hot, healthy meal is so good and it's so easy. And you can start small. And as you continue to experiment with different foods, you'll be able to expand on how, you know, elaborate you want to go or how basic you want to go. So this fish meal, like I said, it's a very regular meal in the Caribbean. I don't know any Caribbean meal that doesn't cook this. Any Caribbean country, rather, that this meal is not cooked. So we're gonna fry the fish first, and then we're gonna take it out, and then we're gonna make a sauce, right? Let's get started again. In a large saucepan, you are going to put some oil. I have some extra virgin olive oil here. It might look like a lot, maybe a cup and a half. Right? And we are going to baste the fish. We're going to flour it. Like I said, I get my hands dirty when I cook. You could wear gloves though if you want, because sometimes curry or turmeric, it stains. Some people are creative, they put everything in a bag. I don't put egg. It's just not something that I don't like the flavor of it, or cornstarch, but feel free if that's how, you know, you like it as well, or if that's what the recipe calls for. So we are going to, let me see if I can just test the oil. See, the oil is ready. Don't worry, I didn't put a heavy seasoning in the flour because the sauce you will see later on, trust me, is going to have plenty of seasoning in it. My kids like to tease me because they're like, Mommy, you don't feel the heat? It's not that, it's that after a while you know how far to put your hands in the pot. Don't be grossed out because you see the fish head. Every culture is different, and it's okay. As well as just buy fillets. This recipe works with fillets as well. But this fish was so beautiful at the market, I could not leave it. All of them should be able to fit in this pot. Stuff you in there, homeboy. Oh, Lou, can you smell that?
Yes, I can. It smells delicious.
The aroma is already beginning to fill the house. Luke is my trusted tester. We're gonna let this fry about maybe 4 minutes on each side. But you see this liquid here? Don't toss this. This have all the yummy flavor, and it has fish as well. So when I make the sauce, we're actually going to use this as well. You can actually put your onions and peppers and everything into that, right? So I'm going to get that. So you remember I cut up the onions, pop in. So we have the white onions, we have the red onions, we have some cilantro, we have the peppers, we have the bell peppers and the yellow peppers. And then we have tomatoes. And we have some olives. And all of this is going to make the sauce so good. Okay? And this we are going to use for our polenta. And we also have okra that we will put in later on. It's ready to turn. That's a beautiful color. Don't burn yourself now. This fish is so good. It has like a very buttery flavor. I actually like it better now than the red snapper. And yes, I did say that, all you Caribbean people out there. This fish is better than the red snapper to me. One of the beautiful things about cooking, again, when you cook with all the colors that you can possibly find and you acquire a taste for all these different colored vegetables and stuff like that, not only are you getting the nutritional value, but you're also getting the visual stimulation. A beautiful plate of food is very appetizing. I mean, we eat with our eyes first, and just to be able to see your food presented beautifully, it's a wonderful thing. People always say, like, my children eat at a 5-star restaurant in our home, and it's because I really do like delicious food, but I like healthy foods, and I like to expose them to the beauty of life. And I think there's nothing more beautiful than not only food prepared with love, but it's also presented with love and care and everything like that. The fish is good on the other side. I think we're ready to take it out and make the sauce. Okay, the fish is ready to come out. This one, it's not cooked all the way, even though you see it's brown, but the fire was a little high. So it's not cooked all the way on the inside. So you would take this out. I will not put paper towel because I actually want the drippings from it, right? You see, the fish is not fully cooked all the way. Fish on the bone normally takes a little longer than if it was filleted. Turn this off. We're gonna take that out. The same pot that you just fried the fish, do not wash that pot out. It is packed with flavor. Here is now that garlic. I had put the oil on the side, so you could take a little bit of the oil and add back to it. It has the color from the fish, which is fine. This is a little, oh, you smell all this yummy garlic now. The next thing you would add, get a bigger spoon. Let me get, a wooden spoon so I don't make all that noise in your head. And then now we're going to add the onions. The onions need a little bit more time to break down. Let that saute for maybe a minute and a half to raise up the fire just a little bit. a little bit more oil. It's a little dry. Then now we can add the peppers. Remember, you see all that juices, and you could just start adding everything in. I love cooking for my kids. You see the dish is even a fish dish. I told Gabe we've had this and we haven't used it in a while, and Gabe was like, Mom, you're cooking fish, so I'm gonna go and get the fish dish. So I was like, yes. You see? Look at all this wonderful color now. We're gonna let that saute down a little bit more again. You have to season up your vegetables now because this is going to be a little bland. So, some pepper flakes. I like to have a big chunk. A little bit of adobo. And the ketchup. This looks like a lot of greens, but it's really not. What happens is that you now get to get all of this as a side vegetable within the fish dish. We are creating a nice like stew. So we can raise the fire up. We don't add the fish back in yet. That was about a half a cup of water. We can add another half a cup because it's a lot. Again, people, it's very important to taste your food. Taste it. Taste it as it's... That's good. Needs just a little bit more salt. And then lastly, lime juice. This lime juice also brings up that flavor. Oh, this is so good. This has such a large depth of flavor. Okay, now that your sauce have come back up to a boil, you submerge your fish back into it. And this is where the magic happens. Oh, now you start to lower the fire down and the fish now gets to simmer in the sauce. We'll turn it over once. It's so good. We're gonna turn the fish over. So good. And then we're not gonna turn it again because we don't want to break up the fish. Look at that. It is so good. Normally, we would add the delicious okra on the side, but the twins really hate okra. So, since Luke and I like okra, they'll grow to like it as well. I will do the okra in another pot so everyone can enjoy today's dinner.